Apple shares details over why it just made the iPhone 7 and iPhone 6s slower than before. The Razer phone is reportedly getting a very significant software update to fix complaints, and merging iOS and macOS applications is apparently a work in progress at the moment. I'm Jaime Rivera, and I apologize for the face. I've been traveling since 5 a.m. I was going to call it a night, but I can't leave you guys without the news. This is Pocketnow Daily. The official news today begin with deals. If you're in the market for the Moto Z2 Force, it is currently on sale in Best Buy. But the sale really depends on what carrier you pick. Like, for example, if you go for AT&T, I think this is the one that offers the best deal, where the phone is pretty much $350 less expensive, and you also get the typical Moto Mod projector that nobody ends up using. You can learn more in the description depending on your carrier. Now let's talk about the Razer phone. Those of you concerned over issues like the camera, there is a software update for this phone that's apparently going to fix a ton of things. There are a list of bug fixes that are included, but most important, apparently, the camera is going to get a major overhaul. And this will apparently fix all the complaints that there are with the camera. Obviously, we will let you know if that's true or not. Now let's move the spotlight over to Apple and the iPhone X 2018 and 2019. According to Ming-Chi Kuo, there is a roadmap of battery growth in the iPhone coming since the next iPhone and then the following one. Not necessarily because Apple is looking to improve the battery life that you get, but because the company wants to bet very heavily on both AR and TrueDepth sensing, and apparently these two features require a ton of battery life. So expect these changes. And speaking of Apple, it is no secret that the Mac App Store is not at all as successful as the iOS App Store. And I think a lot of it has to do with the price difference in applications. Surely the ones in the macOS App Store are more complex, but apparently Apple wants to bridge the gap. There's a project codenamed Marzipan that apparently will allow applications to work between themselves. I could bet more on iOS applications working on macOS and not necessarily vice versa. And that would be awesome for things like Twitter, which the Twitter Mac app is terrible, but yeah, stay tuned. Let's see exactly what it brings. And finally, the very interesting and to a certain degree disappointing news today have to do with Apple. The company has just chimed in over the news that we reported yesterday. If you remember, we discussed that there are benchmarks that prove that Apple has been throttling the processor on the iPhone 6s and iPhone 7. Apple has confirmed that it does. And the reasons for this is because, according to Apple, the only way for components like the battery to last as long as the average consumer uses an iPhone is to throttle the processor in order for it not to tax the battery after a year of use. That makes sense, that's fine. You know what the problem is? When you have the iPhone 6s still on sale, iPhone 7 still on sale, meaning why are these devices that people have not bought yet, that are still in a store and that people will probably buy tomorrow or the day after, going to be throttled? Or how is Apple going to figure that part out? Because according to what we know, the company doesn't. So, you know, it leads me to the question today. Do you think that this is a fair practice for OEMs to have these measures in order to avoid taxing things like the battery? In my case, Apple's argument is that this actually causes phones to shut down and it's just preventive. So that makes a lot of sense. It's just, I don't know how the company can figure this out for people that are buying an iPhone 7 now, because that phone is more than capable. Why should it be throttled? Leave us a comment down below. We'd love to know your opinion. Friends, again, if you want to get the news earlier, follow us on Pocketnow.com and subscribe to our channel by hitting this button up here. You can watch yesterday's Pocketnow Daily up here, and you can also watch our impressions of the OnePlus 5T down here. You can also follow me on Twitter, Jaime_Rivera, on Instagram at Jaime Rivera. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like what you saw. I am Jaime Rivera. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.